Richard Childress has finally broken his long silence, stepping into the spotlight with some unexpected and candid thoughts about Cleetus McFarland that are now creating waves of conversation throughout the entire NASCAR community. While many drivers were focused on giving him a rough ride during the actual on-track competition, the longtime head of RCR delivered a straightforward and sincere message that caught almost everyone completely off guard. Cleetus McFarland had earned his opportunity to compete in a genuine NASCAR event last weekend at Rockingham. The entire experience proved to be far from easy or straightforward. He faced repeated aggressive bumps and shoves from fellow competitors, and once the chaos concluded, he openly confessed that it represented the most demanding challenge he had ever encountered in his whole life. Adding to the letdown, Talladega subsequently refused to allow him to make his intended next appearance. That combination of hurdles sparked heated debates among fans across the internet, leaving many wondering exactly where the prominent figures within NASCAR truly stood regarding all the events that unfolded. Now Richard Childress has shared his own unvarnished perspective. If anyone assumed he would simply join the chorus of critics and express disappointment, they were entirely mistaken. When Richard was asked point-blank for his complete and honest viewpoint on everything that occurred at Rockingham on Saturday, he refused to sidestep the issue or sugarcoat a single detail. He immediately made it crystal clear that the concept had never originated with him to begin with. Rather, the whole thing began when his driver Ty Dillon presented the idea directly to him. Richard embraced it right away with zero reluctance. In his own exact words, Ty Dillon came to me and talked about it, and I said, "What a great idea not just for our CR but for our sport." Those remarks reveal precisely how Richard Childress views the entire matter. He declined to dismiss the opportunity as some sort of low-budget publicity stunt or nothing beyond a simple gimmick. He viewed it instead as a development that could deliver genuine benefits to the broader racing landscape. He went on to explain in detail exactly why he supported the initiative. Richard stated, "Here, Cleetus, which is Garrett, has like close to 5 million followers. And if we can get 10% of those new fans coming to races and looking at the racetrack because of Cleetus, even a small slice of that crowd is a huge number of brand new fans showing up." Richard emphasized that Cleetus had already succeeded in drawing fresh faces to Rockingham in person, and had additionally attracted extra new spectators who tuned in to watch the race on television. Nevertheless, the race turned intense and quite physical in numerous sections. Certain drivers displayed very little mercy toward Cleetus while out on the track, making repeated contact with him throughout the entire contest. Richard observed that treatment closely and he clearly disapproved of it strongly. He remarked, "He's a rookie, and I'm proud of what he did last week. He finished fourth in the ARCA race. He's raced, but he doesn't have the experience. I think some of the drivers are beating him up a little excessive because he's getting a lot of attention, probably." Through that statement, Richard Childress essentially issued a firm reminder to the rest of the garage area to ease up on the newcomer somewhat. Cleetus remains very new to this level of competition. Every single driver in the sport started out as a rookie at some point. There's no legitimate justification for continuously targeting him as a repeated target simply because his involvement is generating significant buzz and interest. Then there were the vocal critics sounding off from the internet. You know the type, the ones posting comments such as, "Why does this guy even get to do this?" Richard has spent enough time in this sport to understand the most effective approach to countering those sorts of complaints. He responded by saying, "At least they're talking about you, right? You worry when they don't talk about you." That response carries the kind of timeless old-school racing insight that only comes from many decades of hands-on involvement. When people become agitated or start complaining about someone, it generally indicates that the person is making a real impact. The actual issue arises only when nobody bothers to mention your name at all anymore. Richard continued by speaking favorably about Cleetus as well. He stated that Cleetus did a great job overall. He truly loves the sport and his fans stand behind him because he is a real car guy deep down. When it came to any mistakes or slip-ups that happened during the race, Richard showed absolutely no worry at all. He explained, "I can't tell you how many mistakes previous drivers that I've had made when they very first started. So it's racing. I've seen them all come and go." Coming from a man who has watched so many rookies join his team across many decades, that viewpoint really means something. He is not annoyed or put off by Cleetus in any sense. In fact, he feels truly excited about how things are unfolding. He mentioned that watching Cleetus and seeing what he can do for NASCAR is what pumps him up right now. After the checkered flag came out at Rockingham, Cleetus spoke with total honesty to everyone listening. He described the race as the hardest thing he has ever done. Richard completely agreed with that honest take. He broke it down in straightforward language. He said, "When you step up, if you go from late model to trucks to Xfinity, every step is tougher and tougher and tougher, and I think you learn something from it." Then came the tough news that stung quite a bit. Cleetus had been excited about racing again soon, but Talladega would not be included in those plans for him. A lot of fans figured that Richard might just go along with the decision and keep quiet about it without saying much more. He went the other direction instead and held his ground. Richard declared, "I think you'll see Cleetus. We're going to get him in some more races along the way." He even pushed it further by shining a positive spotlight on Cleetus. He said, "Cleetus is just a natural talent when it comes to being with the public and speaking for NASCAR. He brings all those numbers with him, surely a good thing." So even though Talladega had shut the door for the time being, Richard Childress is still working to keep doors open on his end. More races are being lined up. The whole experiment keeps rolling ahead. But there was one more serious subject that Richard could not ignore while he was talking. His own Cup Series team sits in a tough spot right now. Austin Dillon and Kyle Busch, the two drivers carrying the flag for RCR in the Cup Series, have been dealing with real struggles all through 2026. With Bristol coming up this weekend, everybody is eager to hear how he plans to turn the situation around. Richard refused to paint any fake hope or use gentle words. He stated plainly, "We hadn't been a season none of us had planned, for sure. We're working hard at it. John Klossmeyer, his whole group engineering is working on it. We're missing something. We got to find it. People said, what is it? If we knew, we'd fix it, but we're working hard to figure it out." That kind of blunt honesty stands as about the most direct confession any team owner could give. He is basically admitting that RCR feels lost at the moment and no obvious fix has shown up yet. Even so, the whole organization keeps grinding every single day to hunt down the answers. Bristol offers no room for anyone to relax or take it easy. The track is short, tight, and incredibly hard on both the drivers and the cars. Even with that in mind, Richard showed some optimism, especially when he talked about Kyle Busch. He noted, "Bristol is a tough place, but if somebody can do it, Kyle can get out there and wheel it around that place for sure." He also shared the simple secret to making it at Bristol. He said, "You got to finish first. Bristol can be one of them tracks that'll take you out." Then he reminded people that RCR has put up some strong performances at that track in earlier years. He recalled, "We've loaded 3 of them on the record and we finished 1, 2, 3 there before." A 1, 2, 3 finish at Bristol is no small thing. Not many teams can claim that. Still, the updated car design that came in this season has been causing ongoing headaches for RCR. Richard admitted that the new body style has thrown them off a bit. He said, "This new car has threw us a little bit of a curve, this new body, but Hendrick seems to found some success with it and we're all going to get it. We're working hard together to get it up." So imagine the spot where Richard Childress stands these days. On one side, he is out there defending Cleetus McFarland against upset drivers, loud online critics, and even the fresh denial from Talladega. He keeps stressing that Cleetus stands for something good for NASCAR and that more chances to race will come no matter who pushes back. On the other side, he is facing a Cup Series effort that is missing a key piece nobody has pinned down so far, all while getting ready for one of the roughest races on the entire calendar. Between stepping up to back Cleetus when almost everybody else wanted to tear him down, and grinding non-stop to pull his own team out of its present troubles, Richard Childress is dealing with more pressure than ever. And judging from the answers he gave this week, one thing comes through loud and clear. He is not backing away from his support for Cleetus, and he is not backing away from the hard work needed to solve the problems weighing on RCR.